So first of all, it is a great pleasure to introduce Xavier Libbrecht, and it's wonderful that you found time today to talk to me, Xavier. First of all, can you explain to us where you are?
I am where everything started. It's because I was here. Because I was here in '76. At that time, I started for Cheval magazine, as I told you, and then 2 or 3 years after, no, no, not 2, 3 years after, 1 year after, I started to cooperate as a daily sport reporter for the question to L'Equipe, a daily sport paper. In the office, in the of a paper of L'Equipe, the guy who was working next to me was covering sailing and motorbikes racing. And we were good friends. His name was François Xavier Baudet. And we were close, and we were writing our stories late. And he was reading my story, and I was reading his story. And what I noticed at that time is that in his story, there were always two things. The part concerning the sailor or the biker, and a part always of the motorbike or of the boat, of the sailing boat. And I was thinking, and he agreed with me, that our sport, the question, had also these two components. It had the sportsman, the riders, but also the horse, which was quite, sorry to put it in bracelet, but like a machine. And we, in my story, there was nothing about it. I couldn't write anything about it because nobody knew at that time who was the horse, what was its pedigree, where he came from, who was the breeder, and so on. It was total mystery. We were just talking about riders, no more. So it came in my mind that something was missing. And this is why I started to think, well, who could inform us about the pedigree of a horse? Of course, you can have, you can at that time, there were no internet, nothing, just a phone call, you know. You can maybe reach his breeder, but where is his breeder? And how to reach him, and so on, and so on. So I was thinking the best way to go through could be the stud book. But at that time again, people knew about 3 stud books only. The Irish, because they were very strong at that time, either in sport, either in supporting their breeding, with already at that time the Irish Horse Board. And also there were the Germans, of course. But in Germany, we only knew Hanover, because Hanover was the big stud book with Dr. Wilkins, that I remember very well. And if he's still alive, I would like to say, how are you, doctor? Because he was really a good guy and a strong guy. And he had helped a lot at that time. And in France, of course, we were organized because of the Haras Nationaux at that time, who were already compiling all the information about horse breeders. So we had to, I realized that it was so difficult to go through the information that we had to start something. But when you say we have to start something, I realized that I was alone to have that in my mind. Only one guy thought I was not so stupid. It was Max Saman. Max Saman was at that time the founder and the director of the Jumping World Cup, with a final every year between the States and Europe and so on. And he was wise, he was listening, and we had a good relation. I was so young and he was much older, but we had a very nice relationship. And when I explained him what I was looking for, he said, Xavier, I think you are right. We could do much better about providing information about breeding. It would help everyone. Okay, we will start to do something, but for that, you have to discuss first with the FEI. Because I don't see any other international organization who could be strong enough to help. So it says you should talk to Princess Anne, because Princess Anne is keen about breeding. And I'm sure that if I can organize a meeting between her and you, You just call her ma'am, sorry, and she will help. So it told me, be patient. One time it will make it. And that time arrived one day in Ixted. I was still photographing horses in the main arena. At that time, we had to wear a tie to be a photographer. And a man, I was on the ground. It was raining. I remember that. I was wet, and a man came crossing the arena and said, "Monsieur Liebrecht, Princess Anne would like to talk to you." I'm not ready. No way. I climbed the stair, and she was there, and she very easily said, "Xavier, I think you have something to explain, to ask for." I say yes. Of course, she was already aware, and she said, "We have." Oh wait, the guy said, "You have only 5 minutes." So I was looking at my watch, and after 3 or 4 minutes, said, "That's enough. I have understand. We will organize." And then one assistant came, and she gave me my phone. I gave my phone number and so on, and said, we will organize things." And this is how everything really started. And then we had meetings. One was, of course, in London,
At Buckingham Palace.
exactly, and Buckingham Palace. Okay, at that time we had gathered a little bit more people concerned by the story, and we had that meeting and a few more, and the thing started like this. Through, as I have explained in the past, not through a federation right at the start, but through a game, through a championship, kind of championship between the potential stud books who would like to play it. Why? Because I had realized at that time already that there was so much conflict, if I may say that, between stud books, that to put them around a table to have the same ideas on the future was almost impossible. The only way to make them around the table was to imagine a play between them. Playing, challenging, always works. Being very political, very much organized was impossible at that time. And so this is how we started with the World Breeding Championship, for horses. 2 years or 3 years, my memory is correct, and of maybe 4, and then we started the federation. This is how it started.
Fantastic. I mean, it's that's a fascinating story, Xavier, and thank you for sharing it with us, and particularly the fact that the inspiration arrived in the very room that you're sitting in right now.
So I think this organization is useful for all breeders individually through their stud books. And again, what I think is that stud books, some people were saying and still say, you know, now it's mondialization. We don't care. It's just a matter of crossing the best horse, the best stallion with the best mare, and everything is fine. We don't need stud books anymore. I'm totally against that. Breeding is a matter not only of crossing, it's also, in my opinion, it's a matter of soil, it's a matter of climate, it's a matter of, because you don't breed the same way if you live in Normandy or in the south of Spain. So it's a matter of climate, and it's a matter of human character, human sensibility. And so I'm totally convinced that stud books are useful. And of course, they can select and sometimes pick here or there to elaborate new ideas, to verify new feelings. Okay, they can, but having your identity, having your character, having your habits, having your people around you with the same as a team around, I mean, that's something great. And that breeders should think about this, and not only think about I'm crossing the best with the best, I'm sure to win. If it was so easy. It
I know
was
this
so.
is, I think that is very true, Xavier. If it was this easy, I think we'd all breed Olympic winners all the time. But we know and respect the knowledge and passion, and also the differences between our different breeders. And what are your hopes for the organization for the future?
The future will be related to the future of equestrian sport, meaning that if equestrian sport gets in trouble, then of course sport of breeding will also get in trouble. So having said this, I put a finger, I think, on the main danger for equestrian sport. Equestrian sport is a special sport. Why? Because you practice it with an animal. And this animal is special for human beings. We have worked with him since 3,000 years, since the Greek antiques. He has followed us all that time. And so we are responsible for him. And he needs us today, because everyone who breeds horses knows that if you don't use them, they will become like big fat things, and no horses with this noble character. So we are tied together. So first of all, everything is depending on the evolution of the sport. And for that, of course, we have to be totally clean on any. First of all, it's good for the horses to ride them. Second, for that, we need to take care of them as much as we can. Never forget that it is an animal who prefers we need space, whatever it is. And so when we have done that, we can use him. He enjoys to be part of a game, whatever it is, polo or racing or whatever it is, or jumping. And so we shouldn't be shy about it. We should publicize why we are doing it and how we are doing fairly. Of course, sometimes accidents happen, but accidents happen everywhere in life. So we shouldn't be stupid regarding this. And when we are saving, then regarding breeding, future of breeding. Okay, and last point regarding business shouldn't be the aim. No, business is not the aim. Relation, and this is why I come to say that relation between an animal and a human being is really the key of the pleasure and the key of enjoyment for both. I'm sure the future of breeding is guaranteed. I'm sure the pleasure of breeding is guaranteed. But first, look to your passion, to your feeling, and money one day will come. Keep dreaming. That would be my last word.
Thank you very much, Xavier, and very wise words, and I think a very strong sentiment for us all to follow. So thank you very much for your time. It was fascinating to hear the story of how it all began and to hear your thoughts. And thank you for all you have done for the World Breeding Federation and for breeders all over the world. And it's very nice that now in our 30th anniversary year we can celebrate the past and the future.
Thank you, Eva, for all you do to support the development of this federation.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, Xavier.